What's going on, everybody? It's Bearded Buddha, and this is WAVEcast. It's Sunday night. Wasn't going to record, but we're recording. Just wanted to talk to you guys about a few things. I'm not going to probably go on as long as I do, but if I do, oh well, we're just going to roll with it. Just wanted to talk to you guys. Got some things on my mind, things that I thought about over the weekend, and I just thought I would share them with y'all. If you're a first-time listener, thank you. Please go back and listen to the previous 3 episodes. This one will be episode 3.5. It's not technically 4. I'm still going to record episode 4 this week. Also, if this is your first time listening, please tell us what you think. Give us some feedback, questions, comments, all that. You can contact us at WAVEpodcasts with a Z, not a S, at gmail.com. Send us an email. Tell us what you think. Give us some stuff to talk about on the show. If you want to connect with us, you can connect with us on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook coming soon. And actually, before I go to bed tonight, I plan on releasing at least episode 1 on YouTube. So I'm going to start putting in these audio podcasts on video form on YouTube. So once that's done, which should be tomorrow and throughout the week, I'll let you guys know about that and how you can subscribe to that channel and check our podcast out on the YouTube page if that works out for you better. So, yeah, let's see. I don't even think I told you guys what the Twitter and Instagram was. Instagram, just search Wave Podcast. We should be the only ones that pop up. On Twitter, though, our Twitter handle is going to be Wave_podcast. Search, you could probably still search us like you can search us on Instagram through Wave Podcast. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's still episode 4 coming out this week. This won't be as long, but we'll see. So let's just jump into it. Right. So I wasn't planning on recording tonight. I actually told myself yesterday, I was like, I'm not going to mess with any of the podcast stuff. I'm just going to go to work and I'm going to get off and I'm just going to relax and chill. Like the Oscars are on right now. There's a show I want to watch. It's called Baskets. It's on Fox or FX. I don't know how there's one of them. It's on one of them. But I watch it on Hulu. So if you got Hulu, just look it up. It's got Zach Galifianakis. It's fucking hilarious. If you like that kind of humor, like his kind of humor, but he's pretty much a story about him. He's a clown, or he wants to be a clown. And he went to Paris or France to try to learn from them how to be a clown, like at a clown school, and just the story about that. And even when he comes back home and how everybody around him reacts and him trying to, just kind of live out his dream and be successful. And so it's funny, but it also is pretty relatable and it's pretty grounded. So check that out. So yeah, there's a lot of other things I wanted to do. Not that I don't want to do this tonight. But there were some things that I was thinking about throughout the weekend that I really wanted to run it by you guys. And I'm really just going to be echoing another person's thoughts and their perspective on things in life and in the world and stuff. But it really resonated with me. And I said, what the fuck? I'm just gonna at least tell you about it and what that means to me. And, if you want to look up this person and what they talk about and all this other stuff, you're more than welcome to. I'll tell you how at the end of the episode. But anyways, so the person that I'm talking about is Will Smith, which is kind of crazy to me. He's an actor. He plays these roles. When we see actors in real life, that they play so many different types of people that you almost can attach to the role that they play, and you think that that's them, but you really don't ever find out what that person is really like. And I think that really messes up a lot of actors and actresses who play a lot of roles, and they're always trying to pretend to be somebody that they're not. And that kind of leaves them probably wondering who they are, after a while. But yeah, so I started following Will Smith, and man, this dude has been talking some real truth, and it's been really impactful for me. And it's like sometimes when you hear people talk about things, or they tell you things, or stuff that really holds some truth and some weight to it, for me, sometimes I feel like, man, wow, the timing couldn't have been any more like ideal. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what he has been talking about since I've been following on his Instagram really resonated with me. It's like he was giving something that I would almost want to go off on a limb and say, like, it's something that you think you would go to church to find some insight on life without getting the church stuff, right? So it's kind of like he talks like and about things that you probably would hear a preacher talk about in church on a Sunday or something. You know, it's really hard to get answers and tips on life and stuff without being pointed to a church or a religion or some kind of sacred text or, you know, book or something. So it was really, really cool to just hear him like give his thoughts, his feelings, his knowledge and wisdom and insight on some issues, and not even just issues, just like things in life that him, Will Smith, from personal experience have, encountered and still encounters. But it's like, hey, you know, I kind of came across this. Let me tell you, you know, this about life. And I mean, he's a successful person, and, you know, he seems like a really nice dude, and he plays a lot of cool parts in movies and stuff. And Will Smith has always came off to me as being an actor that I would want to, like, you know, be cool with. And he's played a lot of inspiring roles. So, like, I think that's him by nature. Like, he really likes making people happy, and like changing their lives for the better, and trying to inspire, motivate. And you can kind of tell that through Jaden. You know, Jaden's like a very deep, thought-provoking dude who's always looking at things outside the box and stuff. But so I'm not going to get too carried on. You guys know who Will Smith is. And so on his Instagram, there's two stories that I want to just touch on real quick. If you want to look at the other ones, they're still on there, I'm sure. But one of them is about self-discipline. And the way he put it was really cool. He has like two parts to it. And today I think I saw the second part. And he's like, you know, you got to look at self-discipline as like self-love. Like, you got to love yourself. And you love yourself so much that you're not going to let yourself sabotage that and do something that's not in your best interest. And if you're really trying to achieve like a goal or do something or not do something, and you know you're not, or you know you're supposed to, you know, it's because you love yourself. And I like never really looked at self-discipline like that. Like, you think of self-discipline, and like he says, like the word discipline is like a negative for a lot of people. They think of punishment and stuff, like, you know, oh, you should have disciplined your children, you know, or blah, 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 you know, other ways that people use the word discipline. But he was talking about like self-discipline as like, yo, like you want to have the control over yourself, but only because you want what's best for yourself. And anything that works against you is in a way telling you and everybody else that you hate yourself, you know, kind of like in a way, like if you're eating poorly, you know, having self-discipline prevents you from eating shit that's not good for you. And you can not avoid temptation, but you can overcome temptation and not fall for the same things that you have come to the conclusion, like, this isn't good for me. I don't need to do that. And whatever it is, I'm not picking on eating, That's just something personally that I'm going through. So that's where I kind of relate. And that's the cool thing about these messages, is that you can take the general message and apply it to so many different aspects of life. And that's why I feel it's very important that I, took the time tonight just to sit down and vocalize about how this Instagram page of Will Smith has impacted me over the past couple of weeks, I would say, and really motivated me, and made me think about things in a new light, where I can kind of shed some baggage, or I'm starting to. But I think self-discipline is just something that, in some things I'm really good at, and then some things I'm really fucking bad at. And anybody who knows me could probably attest to that. And that's something that I've not always thought I had the best grips on, and really want to change that. And I was thinking about, and I told you guys in the other episodes, I'm doing this like sort of diet thing where I'm going green for the most part in March. I'm trying to cut out all the fast foods, trying to, eat better, and kind of get rid of some bad habits, as well as like reinforce some good ones that are just, hey, be healthy and also lose weight. So, I mean, it's a 2 for 1. But that takes self-discipline, to not pull into a drive-through, or not to like order out, or not to eat all this other stuff. I mean, I've never really looked at it. And I think people only think that people who are really obese, consider the thoughts of, eating and what they eat and stuff. But, especially with the internet, like we've all really kind of shared a lot of information and come to a lot of conclusions, about what's good and what's bad, right? And your diet is important, especially as you get older. I think that's why I'm so much more self-conscious about it. It's because, I'm not really just doing this for outer looks, even though like, yeah, that would be cool. There's always that, and that's a bonus though. You should do it because it's the right thing to do, and that you're going to be healthy and feel better for it. And if you do it the right way, it's something that can last much longer than the month of March or whatever, whenever you do it. And so, he was talking about, in the first part of the video, or the stories on his Instagram, were saying like, the Marines have a saying that, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And he's like, you gotta have that self-discipline, and that passion to really want to do something and not let anything get in the way. And if that takes like, I mean, like I get where he's coming from by saying that, like, but if he basically is saying like, if you should want it more than anything in life. There was a video like a couple years ago or sometime I was looking on YouTube, and I came across, there was this motivational speaker, and this guy was saying like, if you really want to be successful, you should want it more than air itself. And so I guess that kind of connects to what Will was saying. Like, when it's do or die, all or nothing, then that's when you can really achieve success. I mean, because if you're constantly sabotaging yourself, or taking actions and making choices that are not benefiting you or moving you forward or changing anything, then what's the point of what are you doing? And I think we're all smart enough to know what's like right and what's wrong, what's good for you and what's not. And that's not just diet, that's like on a mental health level, and that kind of, I'm going to let you guys like go check out his Instagram, and watch those videos on self-discipline. I could keep going, but with this whole diet thing, and just like even the podcast and just all these things that I want to do, it takes self-discipline to stop whatever you were doing and then try something new and learn something new and make a new habit. So, it was really encouraging, and it kind of helped me think of it in a new light. You got to love yourself. And that's something I think that I honestly, if I'm going to be like completely 100% with you, and I feel pretty comfortable talking with y'all, and I've always been a pretty open and an honest person. I think, all right, I can only attest to that, I guess. But like, I guess like over the years, I haven't loved myself enough to do the things that I really wanted for myself, that I knew would be essential for me being happy. And like, even if I got super motivated and hyped up and ready to take on the world, I almost had like this self-sabotage ability installed in me, or at least that I thought that I would, I'd do one thing that would just stop it. So, maybe because I wasn't happy with myself, there's a lot of people that probably wake up and before they even look in the mirror, they're not happy with their lives, and they're not happy with their surroundings. Just everything just doesn't match up where they think they were supposed to go and be. And that's like before they go to the bathroom and they look in the mirror and they're like, oh fuck, I hate the way I look too. And honestly, I think, I don't know, when I was growing up, which makes me feel old, but it's always looked upon as more of a female thing to be so self-conscious of the way you look and the way you feel and stuff like that. But, as males, I mean, I'm sure that we all, especially in the social media era, where we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people. That is why my generation has probably so much anxiety. And we're afraid to admit it because we've become so used to just connecting on social media and on our phones and shit. But that's a whole nother episode. Don't worry. We'll get into that another time. But yeah, so when he said like self-discipline is self-love, it was like, damn, you gotta love yourself. It's like, I was telling myself, it's like, dude, you gotta love yourself enough to not make those choices that you shouldn't be making anymore. Like, I love you, man. Like, I don't want to see you fuck it up. And that was like, yeah, that's a whole nother way of looking at that, Because I almost have like this like ninja mentality when it comes to thinking about self-discipline. Like, you have to be like this warrior, like this person who's been through the fires but doesn't flinch, That's self-discipline. Like, shove all this food in front of me and I'm going to go get that the fuck out of my face. Or, like, I'm going to go do this thing that I don't feel like doing, but I know I need to do it. Like, go to the gym or some shit. And look, I'm not trying to be no motivational speaker, no like preacher or anything like that. I'm trying to talk to you about things that I'm going through and just that I'm coming to conclusions about, but I'm not perfect and I'm not claiming to be, or I'm not talking from a higher point of view. You know what I'm saying? So please don't ever get that way. I'm just, pointing at some common knowledge that I think that we should all, take this second to be exposed to again and reevaluate some things. And it could do us all, a favor, and make a positive out of a negative. So, yeah, so I'm working on it as much as you are, as much as you aren't, but I'm trying like every day. So yeah, but in another video of his, he was talking about, like almost being addicted to stress, like addicted to like discomfort. He was like, he's talking about having a really nice off day or something like that, or just having a nice peaceful day, but almost like having to turn on the news, even though he knows it's going to stress him out. But it's almost like we've become so accustomed to stress. And there's so many things in our life that are negative, but we almost like, even though we bitch and complain about them, we almost like have gotten so used to them being there that we almost need them to be there. And stress is a good thing in moderation. I think stress can be a really good motivator. I think that if you ever feel like you're going through some hard times, or you're not liking where you are or what you're doing or whatever, that is a stress that you can turn quickly from a negative to a positive. Because be thankful for that stress. Because if you didn't have that stress, nothing would change, And that's where I feel like, okay, if I'm stressed or if I'm stressed out, that is a sign that like something's out of sync. Something's not right. Now, yes, I understand that the world and life is unfair and can be random as fuck. But I also believe that whatever control we do have, is manageable. And if there's anything that goes out of control in that sphere of influence or whatever, that's on you, and you can quickly peel back the layers and find out, whose fault it is, if it's anybody's fault at all. So yeah, like, I think like I understand where he's coming from when he's talking about this. It's almost like there's times where I just want to be upset about something. Those people that just are like, yo, I'm like, life is too easy and too good for the most part compared to how it used to be years ago. But man, I got to be mad at somebody, and I got to be, fuck work, or I don't like this person, or, oh, this celebrity, or this politician, or, just like kind of hateful, resentful, kind of like, but it's almost like you're addicted to that feeling without even knowing it. You didn't even have a reason for real to be upset, but you were just upset. And, like I said, I mean, if it's like honest and true, then, you can flip that and look at it as like, okay, I need to change something. Like, something's not working here. And that's the way I've kind of dealt with stress over the years. I know a lot of people, and I'm still dealing, and I have like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a peaceful person all the time. I get upset just like everybody else. But I know a lot of people who deal with like anxiety and, just stress, and that can kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a tough pill to swallow. And so if you think that you're too stressed out, you gotta really take time to look at what's causing all that, but if it's something that you're doing on, that doesn't really need to happen, then you need to have self-discipline and not put yourself in those situations or do those kinds of things. So, what else do I want to talk about? I want to talk, those were the two things. Like, he does a way better job. Trust me. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I'm just echoing the things that I heard from him, and I probably butchered a lot of it, but I kind of added what I, took from that. What Will Smith said on his Instagram page. But let me look at my sheet of paper real quick that I wrote down some notes and what I wanted to talk about so I could stay on track. And I did not mean for this to go super long, but we're past the 20-minute mark, and we're just going to roll with it, right? So anyways, my bad. He was talking about a Confucius saying in a video I saw about Will Smith one time. I know it's going to sound kind of weird, like, man, this dude's like all about Will Smith, but hey, I watch videos on Tony Robbins, all these motivational. I love motivational, inspirational shit. Like, it really resonates. I really like that. I like it in stories. I like it in, just words, and like when people can pump you up and hype you up. That's like a talent. That's good. That's cool shit. We need that. And a lot of people can, not even probably by choice, but they avoid that, and they surround themselves with people that are never going to tell them the things they need to hear. And they're just kind of stuck in this cycle of just, meh, this is what it is. But, it doesn't take a lot, but just somebody just to kind of go, hey man, you can change. This isn't how it, needs to be. let's look at what you can do about it, and once you can't, then we'll deal with that too. But he was talking about, like, Confucius says, like, the man who says he can and the man who says he can't are both usually right. And I think that is so true. I mean, think about that, guys. I mean, when you say, oh, I can't do that, even though you probably could, you already believe you can't do it. So no matter what, even if you could do that, you've already taken the initiative to think, no, there's no way I can do this. So you won't do it. So yeah, you're right. Now, if you say you can, you might do it eventually. You might fail and fuck up a lot. But if you really believe you can do it, I feel if you're stubborn and persistent enough, you'll be able to achieve whatever that is to some degree. Like me wanting just to do this podcast, like, even though there's probably a handful of people that have heard this or will hear this, and who knows, I at least have, made a podcast. It's out there on the web, and that's a goal in itself. So, but I just feel like that's the thing that I've been really having to look inside myself and evaluate. And that's like, do I love myself for real? And, do I really believe I can do what I want to do? Because it's like, at some point in your life, it's going to be like, all right, you happy with what you got? Cool. All right. That's how it's going to be. All right. Now, like, if you keep doing these same things, that's how it's going to be. All right. Cool. All right. We're moving on. All right. But if you don't, you have an opportunity and you can do something about it. Now, I'm not going to tell you how you can do it, but I'm not saying you can't. Nobody else is saying you can. You're saying you can. And that just like, what, we mostly believe that there's something after this life. And that's cool if there is. I'm ready to keep going. Maybe it'll be like a video game and you can like choose your own age. So, cause I don't want to be like in some afterlife as an old person and then think about we're probably all old. And if you were lucky to die young, then you're going to be young in the afterlife. I don't know. But look, either way, all right. But if we have just like this life and we have been shown that there's possibility to do the things that you want to do. We've been told from a young age that, hey, you can do anything you put your mind to, and, you can be whatever you want to be. I know the world, can be a cold, hopeless, crazy fucking place. But I think that's when there's always going to be that yin and yang. There's going to be the good, the bad. That's how you know what's what. That's how you know the difference. You can compare the light from the dark. That's how it goes. But I also feel like it really, when you buy into that idea, then like, that's like, okay, that's like warnings that, okay, I shouldn't feel this way. Yes, there's going to be bad in this world. Terrible things are going to happen to really awesome people. It's going to suck. I get that. But it's also just like, okay, what are we doing? If you really could do something to change your life and make it better and be happy. I mean, that's another thing that Will Smith said, okay? He was talking about being happy. Like, that's your responsibility. That's like nobody else's responsibility. And that's just another video that you need to watch on his Instagram page. Yeah, that's your responsibility. So if you're not happy, then that's on you. What do you need to do to be happy? Do you know what's going to make you happy? Find out, do some research, try out some different experiences and see what you like. Look, all I'm saying is, I know there are times in life where you feel like, damn, this is all there is to it, huh? Okay. But there are so many ways to change things for yourself, like you are a product of your free time. You're a product of your choices. every day. The good ones and the bad ones. I mean, you are just the sum result every day. It's just more and more choices you're making. Some of them are like habits, so they're the same ones. And that's just like, hey, come on, we need to break that if we can. Like, why wouldn't you want to? I think that's frustrating for me personally, just because I know that there are a lot of things, especially I've taken some time over the past couple of years to try to like not really re-educate myself, but look for things and read up on some things and just evaluate life and, compare notes with everybody. And I just love that saying of like, hey, let's compare notes on life, because, like they say, like, well, hey, when you're a kid, you're going to grow up and realize like that nobody really knows what the fuck is going on or how to do this. I mean, for the most part, so the rules are bendable and we can make our own rules in some ways. Like, you just gotta simple things. You gotta have that self-discipline. You actually gotta like yourself. You just like, that's the things that Will Smith is like trying to reach out to people. And this is a dude who's successful and happy for the most part. I'm sure he has like shit days and bad times. I get that. That's the life of everyone. That's the human experience. But I don't know, there's something inspiring and just like, yo, when something clicks, like, it's like, oh, that's all it was? Like, I've been making this shit complicated. Or, oh, I didn't look at it like that. Oh, well, let me look at my life. Oh, okay, well, now let me apply that. Because how stubborn and ignorant do you have to be to like learn something and then not apply it if you should, or if you can, or when you can? Like, if you know something's bad for you, but you continue to do it, like, how's that make sense? And I know we all have our demons inside that we battle. Trust me, I know. I can totally relate. And everybody is fighting their own battles every day. I'm driving down the road the other day. There's a church sign that says, like, hey, be kind to everyone because, everybody's dealing with their own problems and shit, okay? And the more that I've been on this, like, this journey over the past couple of years, I realize that when I talk to people about these things, because sometimes I get this reaction like, yo, bro, trust me, I already know. I've been known that. You don't need to remind me. I'm trying to not think about that shit. So it's kind of like you get this off vibe. You're like, yo, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm not really talking like about you in particular. I'm talking about like me, and it applies to me and some other people. So, but so you need to expose people to some of that. There's a lot of people, man, that I know, not a lot. Okay. Let me refrain from that word, but that I know could use somebody to like, hey, yo, nobody's going to tell you this, obviously. So somebody's got to, and that's kind of the shit that I'm throwing myself into to, check out, like with the Will Smith stuff. That's why I really dig it. And I'm kind of went on a spiel about myself, but that's just, I want you to know, like, this is coming from my heart. This is coming from my everything. I'm telling you, I'm talking to you like I would talk to one of my closest friends. And, I just want to be sincere. So if I go on a little tangent or rant personally and you guys aren't cool with that, just let me know. I'll try to draw back on that. But I feel like it's the only way that you can really feel like, that you're not alone in feeling certain ways. Or, hey, oh, there's somebody else going through the same shit. That's really cool. And that's like with music sometimes when you hear a song and it's something that you're just like, oh, dude, I can totally relate. I feel like that's awesome. I think we somehow over the years have tried to, be different, and being different is cool, but there's so much more that connects us that we all agree on for the most part, That's just my opinion on that. But, but we almost need to be reminded sometimes. Like, oh, okay, you're right. But yeah, look, I'm not going to go on too much longer. I already made this like a longer episode than I intended, and I'm going to edit this, and that's going to take some time, but hopefully I'll have it out like early this week. But anyways, check out Will Smith's Instagram. It's pretty easy. Download Instagram. If you haven't signed up, sign up. If you got an account, log in, and then go to the search and type in Will Smith. I mean, there you go. Like, I don't know, like, his Instagram actual thing. I'm pretty sure it's just his name, but so like check that out. And yeah, hope you got something out of that. I would like to talk about stuff like that more and even update you on things, because it's stuff that I find very in the now for me. And so even if you're not going through any of this or can't relate, maybe you know somebody can. Or, you know, maybe in time, you know, I have a friend that he's going through something, I'm going through something, but we're never going through it at the same time. But then once, you know, we know each other we can kind of go, yo, bro, I know you went through this. Like, talk to me. Like, how do I handle this? You know? So, hey, let's do that. And you can do that also by sending me an email at waves. Oh my God. You can tell I've been rambling for too long, but wavespodcast with a Z at gmail.com. Just tell me what you guys think of this episode. Do you like this? Do you want to hear me talk about more stuff like this? I don't know. I find it very interesting. And there's going to be more funny, cool, you know, more laid back, just bullshitty episodes coming up. And I'm also going to do, you know, certain reviews for things or just my thoughts. Probably in the episode this week, I'm going to talk about some Dragon Ball Super, which is pretty nerdy, but who cares? And I'll find some other stuff to talk about, but you'll have to just check it out and stay in tune with Instagram and Twitter at Wave Podcasts. On Twitter, the Twitter handle again is Wave_podcasts. Search, follow, check it out. And yeah, so hey, thanks for listening to this episode. Thank you if you've listened to the other ones. Thank you. Just here, say thank you. You know, that's a little thing. There's little things in life that you can do, and it would just make your day and everybody else's day better. That's open the door for other people and say thank you and please. I think those are like some of the core fundamentals of just being semi-friendly. You don't even have to like say it like nicely. You can just say, you know, oh, thank you. Either just, hey, that counts, I guess. So just a little thing. But yeah, spread the word on this. Tell me what you guys think. I'm not going to keep rambling any much longer. Did that even make sense? I don't know. It's been a long weekend. Look, I hope you guys have a good week. Can't wait to sit down and talk to you guys again. YouTube coming this week. I'll tell you guys about that more in the next episode. But yeah, check out Will Smith. He's pretty wise dude. Y'all have a good night, all right? Peace. Oh, hold up. Don't leave. Don't change it yet. Don't stop this podcast. This is like the Marvel end credit scene. Thank you for sticking around after the credits. But look, I wanted to really read this to you guys real quick and leave you with the definition of self-discipline, which I found very, very cool. And this is out of the Webster. But anyway, self-discipline is a noun. It's the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. To overcome one's weaknesses, you know? That's all self-discipline is. It's like you have to admit that you got a weakness and you got to overcome that shit. All right? But look, just wanted to drop that in. I'm going to add it at the end. Yeah, y'all have a good one. Goodbye. Why don't you just meet me in the middle? I'm